Good morning, class 9 students. In continuation with the chapter Pollination and Fertilization. Students, in my previous lecture, I have explained you all about pollination, about self-pollination, cross-pollination and agents of pollination, in which I have told you all about pollinated, wind pollinated and water pollinated, as well as artificial pollination. So after that, some examples of pollination is given: in insect pollinated sweet pea, in wind pollinated maize. These two example you will read by yourself, and after that exercise, this fill in the blanks is given. You try to solve it by yourself. Okay students, if you will try to solve it, you will find the answers and you will read the chapter, so the concept will be more clear. So in this chapter, the last topic is fertilization, and this is very important for exam point of view. Students, the structure of this germination of pollen and fertilization diagram, as well as about fertilization question generally comes in exam, so it is very important. So let's start, students. What is fertilization? Fertilization is the union or fusion of the nuclei of male and the female gamete. When male and the female gamete will unite, then only fertilization occur, and further processing of flower begins. Okay, so in flowering plant, the pollen grain is the male gamete. As you know, in pollen grain, male gamete is there, and in the ovary, ovules are there, that is the female gamete. Now the structure of the pollen grain is given here. The mature pollen grain is a cell with double layer. The outer layer is known as exine and the inner layer is known as intine. Okay, its nucleus has already divided into two parts, that is tube nucleus and generative nucleus. Always remember, the outermost layer is exine and innermost layer of the pollen grain is intine, and the nucleus is divided into two parts, that is tube nucleus and generative nucleus. At this stage, the pollen is transferred to the stigma and further changes in the pollen tube takes place. Okay, when this pollen grain will fall on the stigma, then this exine will disappear and the intine will enhance itself and forms the pollen tube, and the nucleus will shift downwards in the pollen tube. Okay, this is sperm nucleus and this is tube nucleus. We will shift inside the pollen tube, and the pollen tube only will enhance in size and goes and fuse with the ovule. Okay, like this the fertilization occurs. Now the structure of the ovule is given. Ovule is the inner part of the ovary. Ovule is destinated to become the seed. After fertilization, the ovule becomes seeds and the ovary become fruit. This is very important question, that what becomes what. Ovule becomes seed and ovary becomes fruit. A single ovule producing single seeded fruit, or many ovules produces many seeded fruit. Okay, each ovule has one or two protective covering the integument. See here, this ovule is having a protective covering here. This is called as integument. Okay, the integument leave a small opening. This is the, here you can see the small opening from where the pollen tube comes and fertilize with the egg. So this small opening is called as micropyle at one end. This small opening is called as micropyle. The integument leaves a small opening which is called as micropyle. Enclosed by the integument is the nucellus. Here see, this part is nucellus, a mass of food laden cells from which the ovule get foods, nutrition. Okay, and further inside the nucellus is the embryo sac. This is embryo sac. Okay, so this is the structure of ovule and this is the structure of the pollen grain. And when the pollen tube enhances its size and goes downwards with the help of the micropyle end, it enters into the ovule and hence fertilization occurs. So now we will see what happens after that. The embryo sac, this embryo sac contains 7 3 plus 3 plus 1 cells, 3 cells at micropyle end, 1 egg cell and 2 synergids. See here, this is antipodal cells, this is polar nuclei, and this is egg cells. Okay, 3 plus 3 plus 1 cells they contain. 3 cells at opposite end called as antipodal cells, 1 large central cell. The central cell is different, containing 2 nuclei called as polar nuclei. So in total it can be asked like this, the question may be asked like this, that in embryo sac how many cells are present? So you will write 7, that is 3 plus 3 plus 1. 1 central cell, 3 antipodal cells and 3 cells at micropyle end. Okay, now germination of the pollen grain. The pollen grain germinates. See, students, one condition is there. The pollen grain will only germinate when it will fall on the stigma of the same plant species. If it will fall on the different plant species, it will not germinate, it will degerminate, means it will disintegrate, means it will vanish, dry up and vanish. The condition is must that the pollen grains must fall on the stigma of the same plant. The pollen grains falling on the stigma is stimulated to germinate due to the secretion of sugar. As soon as the pollen grains falls on the stigma secretes many type of the sugar, which stimulates the pollen grain to germinate and go downwards. Through a point in the axine, a pollen tube grows out of the pollen grain, carrying a tip of degenerative nucleus and the tube nucleus. As I have told you, the axine will degenerate and the intine will grow as pollen tube containing 2 nuclei, male nuclei and the sperm nuclei. Thus, there are 3 nuclei which are not separated by cell walls. They share a common cytoplasm. Now, when the pollen tube will go inside the ovule, what will happen? The pollen tube grows through the stigma and style by dissolving the tissues with the help of enzymes and reaches the ovary. Okay, with the help of the stigma will stimulate the secrete the enzymes, and with the help of that enzyme it will reach to the ovary. There it pushes through the micropyle and it will reach inside the embryo sac. Okay, the tube nucleus, which has directed the growth of pollen tube all the way down, now disintegrate. As well, as soon as the pollen tube enters into the micropylar end through embryo sac, the tube nucleus the tube nucleus, which has directed the growth of pollen tube all the way, now disintegrate. The tube nucleus will disintegrate. Now the pollen tube enters one of the synergids and releases its 2 sperm nucleus. Tube nucleus will degenerate. The 2 sperm nucleus will go inside the ovule. Of these, one sperm nucleus fuses with the egg cell nucleus to form the zygote, while the other sperm nucleus moves towards the 2 polar nuclei in the central cell and fuses with them, that is with the 3 nucleus. Altogether, 2 fertilization have occurred. That is why it is called as double fertilization. Students, it's very important. Don't get confused. One sperm nucleus will fuse with the egg nucleus and form the zygote, and the other sperm nucleus will fuse with the 2 polar nuclei in the central cell and fuses with them. That is why it is called as double fertilization, because 2 types of fertilization is taking place in it. Okay, as I have told you, students, see here, in pollen grain 2 types of cells are there na. This is tube nucleus and this 2 sperm nuclei. So this sperm nuclei only will fertilize, and after when the pollen tube goes inside the ovule, this tube nucleus will degenerate. So of this sperm nucleus, one will fertilize with the ovule one will fertilize and form the zygote, and other will fertilize with the polar nuclei, and hence this is called as double fertilization. It's very important, students. Double fertilization: one sperm nucleus fuses with the egg cell nucleus, the other sperm nucleus fuses with the two polar nuclei together. That is why it is called as double fertilization. So when the double fertilization will be asked, you have to make this diagram also. It's very very important. See here, this is stigma, this is style. The pollen tube is enhancing, and when it goes downwards to the ovule, the micropylar end, through the micropylar end it will enter into the embryo sac, and one of the sperm nuclei will fertilize with the ovule and form the zygote, and the second male nucleus will go and fertilize with the two polar nuclei. Hence that is why it is called as double fertilization, students. Okay, I hope this is clear, students, how the pollen tube are entering inside the embryo sac. So what is the fate of floral parts after fertilization? When fertilization will happen, what will happen to the floral parts? The petals, stamen, style and stigma wither and generally fall off. Okay, ये सब सूख करके गिर जाएंगे. पेटल, स्टेमन, स्टाइल, स्टिग्मा, ये will generally they fall off. The calyx may either fall off or may remain intact in a dried and shriveled form. Apple and guava show such dried sepals. The ovary enlarges to form fruit. This is the most important question, and generally asked, it is asked many times, that what happens to ovary. The ovary enlarges and form fruit. The ovarian wall forming the fruit wall. The ovary wall may either form a dry and hard food or a fleshy food. Okay, so ovary only forms the fruit. Ovules becomes the seed. The fruit contains one or more seeds which are developed from one or more ovules attached to the ovary by means of placenta. The fate of various parts of the ovary after fertilization during the formation of fruit is as follows. This is very important chart, students, very important. What happens to ovary? Ovary becomes fruit. Ovary wall becomes pericarp. That is the outermost layer of the fruit is known as pericarp. Okay. Ovule is known as seed. Ovule will develop into seed. Placenta, stalk of the seed. Outer, inner, integument, secondary nucleus will form into testa, tegmen, endosperm. That is the seed coat. The outermost layer of the seed coat is testa. The innermost layer is tegmen. Egg cell synergids will form into embryo. Antipodal cells will disorganized, means it will vanish. Okay, so this is a very important chart. This you learn very hard by yourself, students. Now progress check is given. Mention if the following statements are true. Intine is the outer wall of pollen grain. This is false. Intine is Exine is outer wall and intine is inner wall. Pollen tube enters ovule through micropyle. This is true. Zygotes give rise to embryo. This is true. Ovule becomes fruit. False. Ovule becomes seeds and ovary becomes fruit. Dry sepal may persist in some fruit. That is true. Okay. Students, now this chapter is over. In this chapter about pollination, that is self pollination, cross pollination is very important, and the most important part of this chapter is fertilization, about double fertilization. This diagram and the diagram of pollen grain and ovule is important, so you go through this by yourself also, and if any confusion is there you can ask me, students. You try to solve the exercise by yourself, students, because when you will find the answers it will be more clear to you all. Then this exercise will be remained. You try to solve by yourself. You are having Monday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and on Tuesday I will share the solved exercise of this chapter, but before that you try to solve this this exercise, and some questions I will give you all to write. You do that, students. Okay, so till then, stay happy, stay safe at home. Thank you very much.